8th, Robert Durana 9th, and Weston Criddle is going to round up your top 10 here in 206 Junior. Into the tram lines we go. It's Ragan Saville and Derek Wargo, the two championship contenders. Is Porter going to give us the green flag? And he will. The green flag is out. Let's go racing in 206 Junior, presented by Civil Electric and Ragan Saville with an amazing start here. Derek Wargo, not the best for him as Josie Chambers tries to work his way up, but Derek Wargo drops the tire there further back. Is he going to keep P3? He's not. Josie Chambers works his way up, and Derek Wargo not happy at all there.
Yeah, it looks like Wargo was a little bit upset with how he was driven there. Ball just went for the lead, and Regensville is going to cross him back over, move Regensville, the number 1 plate, back to the front of the field. He's got Jackson Baldus in tow. There's the 3rd place card of Josie Chambers, and then Derek Wargo in 4th, trying desperately to get some heat in those tires. This one the dirt off as he's in 4th, trying his best to get up into the top 3.
Yeah, great start there by Ragan Saville in his championship hopes here for Derek Wargo. The exact opposite for him. If he wants to contend for the championship, he needs to win here, and Ragan Saville needs to finish 2nd for a tie, and then it goes to a tiebreaker further back down the list, I guess you could say. But we're going to leave all that to our timing and scoring guy of Tom, and I'm sure you'll have a great time with that. But as it stands now, it's Ragan Saville in the lead of the race here. In 2nd, it's going to be Jackson Baldus coming across the line, and so he's going to be 2nd. Josie Chambers in 3rd, and Derek Wargo going to be in 4th here as the championship is still up for grabs here, Emery.
Yeah, certainly. We've seen the most pace so far this weekend out of Jackson Baldus of any one session for him. You can see he's almost looking for the lead. He is looking for the lead. He's going to the inside of Ragan Saville. That's going to be crossed over pretty easily. Saville took the right approach there, did not get bladed into trying to do anything stupid there, just got the position, got the move done, and now he again now has a little bit of breathing room as Baldus went a little bit wide in that corner. Now it's 3 cars packed together. Derek Wargo not far behind in 4th, and then a big gap back to the rest of the field, played by, I believe that is Ava Blem in 5th right now.
Yeah, Ava Blem in 5th. Robert Arana in that battle as well. I think Robert Arana was able to get around Ava Blem last time by. So move Robert up to P5 and Carter Kogo there in P7 as it stands here. Ragan Saville still in the lead. Oh, and side-by-side action with Jackson Baldus. Ragan Saville holds on to the lead here. Derek Wargo looking for a move on Josie Chambers. Can't get it done as it stands, but Ragan Saville, Jackson Baldus has thrown everything at him here, Emery, at the early stages of this race. But Ragan Saville has just had outsmarted Jackson Baldus, I guess you could say, here early on, and as Derek Wargo goes purple last time by with a 104.746. So a good drive so far by Derek Wargo, and Ragan Saville points forward, telling Jackson Baldus to push him forward here, Emery.
Yeah, it might just be a little bit of over-eagerness there by Baldus. He's made a couple of marginal moves there that probably weren't on the cards. Just trying to get a position that maybe isn't worth going for quite yet. But I like the aggressiveness. I like him kind of putting it all out there. We're seeing Josie Chambers going to be more patient in 3rd. Derek Wargo slowly but surely has got himself into 4th. He's trying his best. As I said, he makes a mistake going through the boot, but in general, he's been able to kind of bring himself back into that lead draft. So it's good to see from Wargo. He needs to get up there and beat Saville to get the championship. We'll see what he can do. He also needs a little bit of help to kind of separate them a little bit. But Ragan Saville so far able to just control this final. You're seeing Baldus and Josie Chambers this lap staying in line, staying kind of disciplined. So we'll see what happens. They come down to complete another lap.
12 minutes to go, plus 2 laps. It's still Ragan Saville, Jackson Baldus, and Josie Chambers goes purple that time by in the Intrepid with a 104.381. Derek Wargo, not the best lap by him, almost 3/10 slower than Ragan Saville and company. Josie Chambers still pushing here, content to push with Jackson Baldus. It seems like Jackson Baldus has decided to calm down a little bit and decide to push Ragan Saville here in the early stages of this race. It's a super long race, and for Derek Wargo, you see him beginning to come right back into frame as he will close down that gap to Josie Chambers and want to go for a move here and soon.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it is a very long race. I mean, you're talking about twice as long as any of the heats, and I think that's something that has to weigh in the mind of Jackson Baldus. You don't need to keep throwing those desperate moves in there. I think you have time to kind of see where your cards are. Having said that, though, Josie Chambers is going to look to the inside. He's kind of done with what Baldus has tried to do. He's noticed he's gone purple, or at least he's gone quicker than the front two. He's going to make the move. Wargo's going to be able to make it stick, and now we have the top 3 from all weekend into the top 3 now. It goes Saville, then Chambers, and then Derek Wargo, who again, recovering from a bit of contact in the opening lap, now into the top 3.
Yeah, good overtake there by Derek Wargo and Josie Chambers to get around Jackson Baldus now. Going to be Josie Chambers and the 2 championship contenders of Ragan Saville and Derek Wargo are in 1st and 3rd here. Derek Wargo wants to go around Josie Chambers as soon as he can, and Josie Chambers going to go down the inside. Derek Wargo is going to follow him through. Ragan Saville going to be stuck on the outside here able to get a better exit than Derek Wargo here. Now going to fall under fire to Jackson Baldus. He's going to work his way up to P3, and Derek Wargo falls back to P4. And this is the first time we've seen a battle of four for the lead here, Emery.
Yeah, so this has been a really good battle. Jackson Baldus has found some speed in this race. I'm really impressed by him, but I'm also really impressed by Josie Chambers for the first time all weekend really taking charge, taking the lead of this race. Ragan Saville has been controlling the weekend. Even if he hasn't won every heat race, he's been in the lead card. He's been the one that they've had to try to outmaneuver and outget themselves into the race lead with. And so for him to be in second, this is the first time all weekend where it hasn't been just either him in second, him in first. Hasn't been under control from in this race, but he's doing a great job of just sticking in second. Elsewhere though, Jackson Ball's going to get crossed over again here. Here comes Derek Wargo for third. He's going to get the job done coming through turn number 2.
A good over-under move there by Derek Wargo to take that spot from Jackson Baldus' hands. So move Derek Wargo up to P3. And Josie Chambers was purple last time by with a 103.774. So a good lap time by him. And Ragan Saville calm behind Josie Chambers here at the moment, but I know he's going to want to take away the win here today if he wants to solidify his championship hopes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for Ragan Saville, this is critical for him to just kind of stay ahead of Derek Wargo. For Wargo, he kind of wants all of these 3 guys that are with him to kind of help him out here. At least, well, the other 2 guys other than Ragan Saville, he doesn't want him to help him out, but certainly between those 2 guys to get Saville back to 4th, that would be great for his championship hopes, and I think that we're really looking to see him try his best. We saw him, again, at the issue on the opening lap, but he's been so quick since then, and now with them battling, it looks like at the front of the field, this might be his chance here to get right back up in the front too.
Yeah, Derek Wargo continuing to close down that gap. That time by, he goes purple with a lap time of a 103.752, 2 tenths quicker than the 2 drivers ahead, almost 3 tenths quicker than Ragan Saville that time by, with a personal best time for Ragan Saville, as he is content to push here at the moment Josie Chambers, as he ran identical lap times that time by. Not even a thousandth of a second separated the 2 of them. Ragan Saville here will fall under fire shortly to Derek Wargo, who has a full head of steam here and wanting to catch his championship, rival of Ragan Saville.
Yeah, certainly this is all to play for Derek Wargo. Ragan Saville continuing to try his best to just push Josie Chambers. He's been patient with him, but I have to wonder at what point does that patience wear out. He's seen Wargo continuously chop into the lead just lap after lap. He's gotten closer and closer as we get towards the halfway point of this race. I mean, time is of the essence here for Wargo. He knows he has time. He knows Josie Chambers is controlling the race at a decent pace, but one that he knows that he can match. And so if he can kind of bring them into this play, I mean, he knows that Jackson Baldus does not quite have the pace to match up with him. So it might be something where if he's trying to win the championship, he needs to back up. He's front 2, but that requires him to get to the lead first.
And that time by for Josie Chambers, he goes purple, having Ragan Saville push him by 2 thousandths of a second, separated their lap times that time. And Ragan Saville now going to fall under fire to Derek Wargo, who is in 3rd. Ragan Saville still trying to jockey for a position here with Josie Chambers, still pushing him forward, and he seems content here at the moment, but when he looks over his shoulder and sees Derek Wargo is right there behind him, I'm sure he's going to want to go for the lead.
Yeah, so I mean, he'll know there's go time at some point, and I don't know when that point is going to be. It might be now, setting up a little bit of crossover. Still hasn't looked back. Chambers is looking back right now. He can see that 1, Saville is right there, and 2, that Wargo is closing up, and I think that all of this looking back is giving Wargo more and more confidence. He's completely dropped Jackson Baldus, who's kind of in no man's land now between the top 3 and the rest of the field. And now he's still got a little bit of work left to do. He's trying his best to just close in on the front 2, continue to work together. But we'll see this time around what the lap times are looking like. It's a little bit quicker from Wargo, but just marginally. But right there, a big turn through turn number 2. He gets right up there. He's within drafting range now and should have a good opportunity if we see Saville go for a lead, which he decides to go for it now. Made the look back, saw that Wargo was coming, and said, all right, I got to get to the lead now. There's no more time to waste.
Yeah, a smart move there by Ragan Saville as Derek Wargo still holds on to 3rd here. As it stands, needs to get around Josie Chambers if he wants to fight for the lead of this race with Ragan Saville. It's all to play for here for Derek Wargo. He has nothing to lose here at the moment, so he's going to want to go here on Josie Chambers.
Yeah, certainly. He knows that Chambers can be of help to him, but at the same time, like, he can't really trust Chambers to get away from Saville. So it kind of makes sense for him to get to 2nd and then try to see if he can back Saville past Chambers and just see if he can get them in between. But right now, Wargo's played this brilliant way to get back into the battle, and now we're about to see through the battle commence. Good job from Saville to take control of the race again after he looked back and saw Wargo, because that's really a smart move. To be able to know that your main contender's coming and make the adjustment accordingly takes a lot of skill, and I think Saville's played that perfectly right there.
Yeah, the last season here for Ragan Saville in the junior category. This next year he's going to move up to the senior classes. I mean, he's already done a couple of senior races here at Speedsportz Racing Park on the club scene. So definitely going to be good to see how he can contend against, I guess, some of the other big shots in the 206 senior class. But yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see him in that class next year in the Texas Sprint Racing Series across that. But as it stands now, still Josie Chambers closing down that gap, down the inside here on Ragan Saville, down the straight, and that's going to leave Ragan Saville in the clutches of Derek Wargo, who's definitely going to want to make a move here on Ragan Saville for the championship.
Yeah, so I mean, it makes more sense for Josie Chambers to try his best to get the lead, but it also makes sense for Wargo to try to really mess with Ragan Saville. The problem is it's just those three, and then there's a big gap back, so I'm not sure how much he can do. Wargo's going to go 2 for 1. How about that? He goes third to first. Saville gets shuffled back to third, and Josie Chambers back to second. So Wargo, in the span of 1 corner, goes from third up to the lead, and now he controls the situation.
And if Ragan Saville finishes third here, I believe the championship will fall in the hands of Derek Wargo. So this is good here for Derek Wargo. I think Emery, you will do the math for us here, but I think as it stands, it may be Derek Wargo with the championship. If it stays like this, the provisional championship will go to Derek Wargo here. Ragan Saville needs to make a move soon on Josie Chambers if he wants to hold on to that #1 plate for the next year. As now, Josie Chambers gives a little bit of a push there to Derek Wargo down the back straightaway. Is Josie Chambers going to go? He doesn't even think about it here down the back straightaway, and Ragan Saville very much still in the fight there for the championship and for the race win here, setting up a little bit of an over-under move here with a little bit of a wider line here. He has a better exit than the front two here down the main straightaway. Derek Wargo is still in the lead. Josie Chambers in second, and Ragan Saville still in third here, not wanting to risk too much on Josie Chambers, so he won't lose a handful of time here, Emery.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to try to play this smart here. I mean, I'm looking at the points right now. Give me just a second to get a total confirmation on this. But I mean, Wargo and Saville really kind of have their own individual thoughts on this. There's a very good chance this ends up in a tie in some way, shape, or form. So, I mean, how about this from Ragan Saville and from Derek Wargo? They've had excellent battles all season long, and it might come down to this. Wargo continues to lead, set a solid pace, and when he gets to the front, he's running 103.6s consistently without them really helping him. So it's impressive to see what he's able to do. Shows the power and speed behind that comp car.
Yeah, a lot of power in the comp car driven by Derek Wargo here. And still in line here for Ragan Saville and Josie Chambers behind Derek Wargo. Ragan Saville is going to be a little bit patient here as it is about to be crunch time. We are 13 minutes into this final race. So ultimately we're going to have 5 or so laps to go here in this race this time by. 4 laps I would say left to go here in this race as Derek Wargo still leads the way. Josie Chambers in second, and Ragan Saville, the 2 championship protagonists of Derek Wargo and Ragan Saville, are split up here by Josie Chambers, a variable that they haven't seen pretty much all weekend long here, with Josie Chambers having struggles on the race starts. But now it all comes down to this. This is it, the final race of the season at the Texas Sprint Racing Series for 206 Junior, presented by Civil Electric. Who is it going to be? It's all to play for here, Emery.
Yeah, I'm just doing a little bit more points calculations here. I mean, it's looking like coming into this race weekend, we saw Derek Wargo was only 20 points back adjusting for drops. Throughout the weekend, Ragan Saville got an extra 10 points from winning pole, putting him 40 points clear. If you look at the grid for the heat races, that would tell you a lot in terms of who got more points. That went to Derek Wargo. Derek Wargo. So instead of getting 100 points, Saville got 90, so that evened it out. So we're back to the 20-point gap, which means if Wargo wins this race, it is going to be a dead tie. In which case, the first tiebreaker is how many wins do you have? Well, Ragan Saville won in rounds 2 and 4 of this championship. Derek Wargo won round number 3, and in this case, hypothetical, he would have won in round 5. I'm led to believe that the second tiebreaker will be how many times have you finished in second over the course of the championship. Right now, both of them have finished second once. However, if Saville finishes second, he will have finished second twice, whereas Derek Wargo will have only finished second once. So hypothetically, if this goes down to the wire, Ragan Saville just has to finish second to win the championship, and it will be a dead tie with the tiebreaker going to it. If it doesn't work out, and I'm wrong, just remember this is completely unofficial. But the way I see this is we're coming down the line, and Saville has to get to second. If he finishes third, he loses the title. If he finishes second, he wins the title on a tiebreaker. That's how I see it.
Well, there you have it from our head analyst, Emery Lida. He pretty much did all the math for our timing and scoring guy, Tom, here up in the tower with us. But it's still Ragan Saville in third. Derek Wargo leads us away. Like you said, unofficially, Ragan Saville needs to finish in second if he wants to hold on to that #1 plate for the next year. It is ramping up. This is going to be an nail-biter from here on out, and Ragan Saville still holds on to that third spot. Needs to go on Josie Chambers here at some point. It's crunch time now, and Ragan Saville is going to have to go here at some point.
Yeah, I mean, this has really made the math more interesting. And we were talking about coming down. Ragan Saville has to know this. I mean, I'm sure we saw his dad come up here at one point.
It was his team owner, Tim Lobow, was up here. The trackside karting services team owner was up here asking about the championship, and he knew that Ragan Saville needed to do whatever he could to win this championship, and finishing second is what he needs here at the moment, because we're going to get the 2 sticks in the air this time by Emery.
All right, Ragan Saville trying his best to close out a championship. The third scenario here that we haven't covered is if Josie Chambers wins it, no matter what Ragan Saville does, short of them wrecking out, it's going to be him winning. It's going to be Saville winning the championship if they finish second and third. So Ragan Saville makes the championship deciding pass at the moment. He's getting crossed over here by Josie Chambers, and now you can see Wargo looks back. He knows now, if he's doing the same math that we are, he knows he's not in the championship lead. So we're seeing right now, this is really fascinating unfolding. Wargo not doing any defending right now, coming up towards the double left. We'll see if he defends now. He does defend. Goes defensive into the left, hits the curb, makes sure that he can pin it on the inside line. He needs Josie Chambers to go, which he's going to do. Chambers to the inside. Now Saville's going to try to set up a crossover. I think it's going to work. It's going to be close now, though. They're going to draft him alongside him. This is really good for Wargo. He needs Chambers to push him out. And you can see, as much as he wants to win, he also wants Chambers to get into second year.
Yeah, of course. So this is the championship battle swings back and forth from Derek Wargo and Ragan Saville. As it stands now, it's Derek Wargo in the lead of the championship. Ragan Saville needs to finish second if he wants to hold on to that #1 plate. It all comes down to this. The white flag is out. This is it for the 206 Junior Championship. Ragan Saville, Josie Chambers looking for a move down the inside, not close enough. And Ragan Saville was also looking to go on Josie Chambers, wanted to follow him through, but thought better of it. It's Josie Chambers now. Is he going to make the move here on Derek Wargo? Josie Chambers just wants to win this race here, take it away from Derek Wargo, but not close enough. Ragan Saville is going to have to go here at some point, as he is currently in third, and he will lose that #1 plate next year to Derek Wargo. Derek Wargo still goes defensive. Josie Chambers not close enough to do anything about it. Still Derek Wargo going to go defensive again. An over-under move. Ragan Saville back into second place, and that swings it back to Ragan Saville. Is it going to be an over-under move for Josie Chambers? It's not close enough, and Ragan Saville, the championship hopes are back in his hands. In one of the last corners of this racetrack, it's still Ragan Saville. He's going to push Derek Wargo. As it stands now, it's Ragan Saville's championship to lose, and oh, they make contact. It's still Ragan Saville in second place. Derek Wargo is going to come across the finish line to win here in 206 Junior, but the championship is going to stay with Ragan Saville, who finishes second. So Derek Wargo going to take the win here in 206 Junior.
Unofficially, Ragan Saville and Derek Wargo have tied for the 206 Junior Championship. We will get official word at some point. We're not sure. Of course, Tech has to do their thing. You have to see any on-track penalties that might be expected, but unofficially, we have a tie in 206 Junior. They have the same amount of wins. With this result, Ragan Saville has more second-place finishes. Again, we're not entirely sure how this will all play out, but by what we have seen, Ragan Saville is unofficially your 2023 LO206 Junior, sponsored by Saville Electric Champion, giving him back-to-back championships. Wow, what a race, Caleb.
Yeah, what a race. And as I look over here to my left, I can't fail to mention